What a piece of trash. I have to admit, I have a thing for cheap, used PCs that people sell off online. There's just something exciting about it. Every time you buy one, it's like opening a mystery box. Will it be a hidden gem, or will it literally explode the moment you plug it in? So today I've got this $100 PC, and for me, that's not a small amount. That's basically the revenue from a few of my YouTube videos combined. Still, I couldn't resist. It looks promising, or dangerous, we'll find out soon. Alright, let's plug in all the cables, hit the power button, and see if this thing even turns on. On the first boot, the power supply kicked on, but the PC itself stayed completely silent. No lights, no fans, nothing. Clearly something's wrong inside. Taking a quick look, there's a lonely 4GB DDR, 3 RAM stick, a 400-watt PSU, and a GT1032GB GPU. On the outside, there's even an Intel i3 sticker, but who knows what's really inside this thing. Still, our top priority now is to bring this beast back to life. After giving it full power and seeing no fan movement, I decided to check the PSU first. And yep, when tested separately, the fan didn't spin at all. So I'm 99% sure the PSU is dead. Time to swap it out. With a new power supply connected, boom, the CPU fan finally spun up. We've got life. But sadly, we also have to say goodbye to our 400-watt power supply unit. RIP, buddy. However, another problem appeared. No display signal from the GPU. I swapped HDMI ports, still nothing. Try the integrated GPU, and that worked just fine. So I pulled out the GT1030 to investigate, and oh my god. What happened here? The connector pins are completely mangled. Yeah, this thing looks like it's been through a war. There's no saving it now. The only place it's going next is the e-waste bin. So now, what we've got left is basically the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and the case. That's it. But hey, for $100, I did get a monitor included, though it's honestly filthy. So the next step, a full cleanup. I'm gonna treat this thing like it's a person waking up from a long nap. After cleaning, it looks way better, but still far from perfect. There are a few horizontal stripes on the screen that just won't go away. Special, the screen came with a few bonus scratches right across the panel. Kind of a bummer, but honestly, it's still totally usable. You can see everything clearly, so I'll call that a small win. But it's showing in a square aspect ratio, like we just traveled back to that 2005. So I decided to use my very limited technical knowledge to fix it. A few quick tweaks later, and boom, full screen, perfectly stretched, just like it should be. As for the brand, BJX? Never heard of it. Turns out it's a company based in California, and this model, the BJX Phi 24M9, is marketed as a gaming monitor. It's 24 inches, full HD, and only 75 Hz. That's a pretty loose definition of gaming by today's standards. The CPU inside this machine is just an Intel i3 2120, a 2-core, 4-thread processor locked at 3.3 GHz. At this point, it's, well, let's just say past its prime. It can probably handle a few older titles, but anything that needs DirectX 11 or newer is pretty much off the table. Honestly, I went into this thinking cheap always comes with some kind of hidden cost, but this result still caught me off guard. I'm pretty sure the seller knew what they were doing. The GPU and PSU were both dead before I even touched them. If you look at market value, this old monitor with its flaws is maybe worth $30, and the PC itself, as weak as it is, might be $20 at best. Yeah, I definitely got scammed. Lesson learned. Next time I'm buying used parts, I'll be a lot more careful about who I'm buying from. I just realized that this i3 2120 is basically the exact same CPU I reviewed in my previous video, so there's really no need to test it again. Let's be honest, it's barely good enough for Minecraft or any lightweight titles, so it's definitely time for an upgrade. I've already got all the parts lined up for this build, but first I need to deep clean everything, because it looks like this thing's been working inside a dust storm. That weird proprietary Intel cooler makes replacing it a pain since the power connector is totally unique. On the bright side, this is a full-size tower, meaning I can throw in any GPU or power supply I want, as long as the CPU doesn't protest. Inside, there are 4 RAM slots, 2 PCIe, and 1 legacy PCI slot. You could even run dual GPUs in this system. While I was in there planning the upgrades, I just tore everything apart and cleaned every single component. It took me about 4 hours of patience and careful work to get it done. If you're enjoying this kind of content, Make sure to hit that hype button so more people can see it. And of course, I swapped in a brand new power supply, not just for efficiency, but to make sure this thing doesn't suddenly burst into flames while gaming. For this old CPU, I decided to invest about $20 to upgrade it to something with higher clocks and more cores. The Xeon E31270. It's a 4-core, 8-thread chip running at 3.4 GHz, with a turbo boost up to 3.8 GHz. Now, it's definitely not a gaming monster, but compared to the original CPU, this thing is about 170% faster. Honestly, if you're broke like me, this is one of the best budget upgrades you can make. And there's no way I'm letting that lonely 4GB RAM stick fight for its life against modern games. So I dropped in two 8GB sticks, giving us a total of 20GB of RAM. That's actually above today's standard 16GB setup. And of course, no gaming PC is complete without a GPU. So I spent another $50 to grab a GTX 1060, 3GB. Sure, it's not exactly a powerhouse by today's standards, but it's still strong enough to let the CPU stretch its legs and handle modern titles that need real graphics power. Let's move on to the real-world performance test, starting with CS2 at full HD resolution. I'm running it on high settings, and the average FPS sits around 60, which honestly isn't bad at all. It just about meets the minimum playable standard for an FPS game. If you're not too picky about ultra-smooth motion, it's perfectly fine. Though, yeah, you'll definitely feel a bit of stutter when things get intense or you need quick reflexes. When I switched to low settings, FPS didn't really climb much higher, which tells me one thing. This 14-year-old CPU is already working at its absolute limit. Next, I moved on to Minecraft, running at 8 chunks with shaders turned off. The FPS was surprisingly high, hovering between 200 and 250 frames per second, far beyond the so-called gold standard of 60 FPS for a smooth gaming experience. But here's the catch. While the GPU was easily handling the load, the CPU started to show its age. Whenever I triggered TNT explosions, the FPS tanked all the way down to 40 FPS. Clearly, this setup could use something beefier than just 4 cores and 8 threads. Switching over to the Bliss shader, the FPS stayed around 60, still very playable and stable. Honestly, not bad for a system this old. Next up is Fortnite, tested on DirectX 11 mode. The game ran at around 100 FPS, which is honestly pretty solid. But the CPU was clearly being pushed to its limits, sitting at about 90% usage the whole time. It makes sense though, since Fortnite is one of those games that leans heavily on the CPU. Still, despite all that load, the system held up surprisingly well. No major frame drops, just consistent performance. So yeah, the only real issue here might just be my terrible gameplay skills, not the hardware. Oh man, I can't believe this actually happened to me. Right in the middle of my game test, the monitor just freaked out, exactly like what you're seeing right now. It's probably some kind of hardware failure, maybe something inside finally gave up after years of use. Honestly, it feels like I just got scammed in broad daylight. All that effort, all that setup, and it turns out to be trash. Pure, beautiful trash. But after all the upgrades, it actually turned into a completely new PC. Sure, it's not a powerhouse by any means, but it runs surprisingly well. If you're just a casual gamer who doesn't need ultra settings or crazy frame rates, this setup is honestly good enough. For a $100 rebuild, I'd say that's a pretty sweet comeback story. Well, that didn't exactly go as planned. What was supposed to be a fun $100 budget PC challenge turned into a full-on disaster. The PSU was dead, the GPU was fried, and the gaming monitor looked like it just escaped from a recycling bin. I guess this is what happens when you gamble on used tech. Sometimes you strike gold, but other times, you get scammed hard. Still, it was one wild ride, and at least we learned something. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed the chaos, and I'll see you in the next one.